Okay. Let's start the game. No, I'm not going to start the Soviet installation of the main story just yet. I got some cards last time. Okay. Okay, let's get started. Croft Manor. Or I'll just continue the blood ties in Laura's mansion. This loading page of the manor looks beautiful, but as in one of the previous streams with the DLC, the mansion looks like crap from the inside because it wasn't taken care of over the years. Oh yeah, I forgot. We were going to the basement last time.
Still just as creepy as I remember.
Okay, nothing to collect. Right, this is where the memory of her playing chess with the butler, Winston, I believe his name was. Yep, I'm gonna have to find Pilbar for that. And I believe the same thing for this one. Nothing in this newer looking one. Interesting. This one looks fairly newer compared to this one right here and this one right here that look like they've been worn out over the years. Okay, let's see. Oh, a book.
I'm at a crossroads now. Good Lord, that's such a cliche. But there's truth in it. Two roads before me. Both present joy and compromise. A life with Richard, adventure, intellectual pursuit, perhaps a new family. But also a man obsessed with something I cannot understand. Or a life of obligation. Upholding the de Mornay name, embracing our traditions, not losing the family that raised me. Oh, this really is a rubbish choice. I don't want to lose them, but I love the life I've started to build with Richard. He comes with his own difficulties, but I can accept them. Will it be enough?
Oh, in her case, from all the stuff that's happened so far in the DLC, no, it's not enough. Her family, they're all spoiled brats. They want what's best for them, not for her.
Dad, this is it! The basement of despair!
Indeed, Lara. Muster your courage, for this is the only path to the Library of Infinite Knowledge.
Look there! See the string?
An ancient Egyptian tripwire. The Keepers of Knowledge want none to disturb their treasures. We must tread carefully.
Let me lead. I know how to spot all the traps.
I'm sure you do, my darling. Lead on.
Let's see. Is there anything up here? Nope. Just a basement that also needs repairs from all this rain and flooding. I really wonder if it's really worth getting repaired, but I guess if you want to keep any more crap from happening, I guess why wouldn't it be? Let's see the way. Which way do I go? Oh. Well, at least I got something.
My stuffed bear. I couldn't have a tomb without a mummy.
I'd say Winston did a very good job of creating this whole thing for her, and including the father as well, because he's been known to be very obsessed with his work, even when her mother was alive as well. It's just sad to know that he was obsessed with it.
One of the wire traps Winston made for my birthday expedition. Winston used my hair ribbons to make this. He and Dad put a lot of work into this birthday surprise.
Well, it's good to know that her father helped Winston out with this whole surprise thing.
Water damage from the main hall above.
Gosh, this is gonna be a lot of money for her to get repaired. And the place is huge. But I feel like the place was bigger in the older games, though.
This bust of Anubis was from Dad's Egyptian collection. He must have put it down in the basement for our little expedition.
This one's gonna need a crowbar as well. How wonderful. I'm just gonna have to find the crowbar then and come back here later.
Plans for adding electricity to the manor. Dad used to say his granny hated all the bright lights. There's a missing page.
No, it's all a part about solving the mystery of the manor and getting Laura the manor, so her uncle doesn't take it, considering that he's a greedy bastard who sees the same spark in her that her father had. But I think her father had more of an obsessive spark, and that she inherited as much as possible. Well, considering that she had him and Winston instead of her mom.
Amelia left tonight. She packed her suitcase and walked right out of here, and I didn't even notice. Like those days in the Oxford Library before we even met. I just had my nose in a book, lost in my own world. I am such a fool. I have let my obsession with this damned ritual of long life rule my better judgment for far too long, and it may already be too late. How could I have not seen this coming? I've made this mistake over and over, always putting my research before my personal life. But it's never hurt like this before. I simply cannot live without her. If I have to give up this accursed quest that has plagued me for so long, then so be it. I am going after her, right now, tonight.
I wonder if her father was still around, if Laura had, if like something happened to her, would he have really noticed that she was gone, or that something happened? Considering that he was obsessed with his research so much.
Okay, Dad's ledger has to be in here somewhere. Hopefully it has the combination to the safe.
I've created a clever little map for Lara's birthday expedition. I used the invisible ink Amelia picked up for me in Morocco so many years ago. At the time, I remember being so annoyed by that rather aggressive street vendor, but she just smiled in her sunny way and paid him without a second thought. I assumed it was just a tourist scam, but it actually works. Turns out it requires a very specific kind of vellum and a heat source to illuminate the ink after it's dried. It should prove a nice challenge for Lara to puzzle out.
You know, I'm glad he thought it was a good idea.
I always accepted that Richard's rather unorthodox research was just something I had to live with. But this time, the thrill of discovery has taken hold of me. I never imagined I could be drawn in this way. Richard cabled to tell me he's found the monastery. The symbol we deciphered in the scroll was the key to its location. I don't know if I honestly believe that this will lead to the fabled elixir of life, but I can't help but feel that a great secret awaits us there. My brother was threatening to shut down the expedition, but I managed to talk him down for the time being. Now I am going to meet Richard. I would bring Lara if I could, but she's still too young. She'll be in good hands with Winston, and when we return, her parents might just be a bit more famous.
It's too bad her side of the family thought Richard and now Laura are completely insane.
This music is familiar. It's beautiful. It appears Sir Reginald's helmet fell off. Or didn't I put it back properly?
No, I was just gonna say, how sure are we that she didn't kick it off herself, or did something to it properly? No, whatever. Thought there was something in this.
Need something to light this.
Yeah, lighter. Or those little wooden match things.
For God's sake, memorize the combination, you fool. Lara's expedition treasure. My favorite painting by Amelia. The day of our wedding anniversary.
Yeah,
Okay, got to find those objects to figure out the combination to the safe. Dad's lighter. I don't remember him ever using it, though.
Oh, crap. Ugh. Okay.
Okay. Should be able to light the fire.
Okay, let's see. Before I light the fire, let me find this stupid thing now so I can look for that clue. Okay, I'm getting... Lord Croft's journals. I'm not looking for journals. I'm looking for a lighter. What? Could it be under trophies? No, no, no. Come on, where the heck is it? Okay, there we go.
Dad's lighter. I don't remember him ever using it, though. The Croft family crest and initials PC. I wonder if this belonged to my grandfather.
Okay, there you go. I feel better now.
Please now.
Alright, well, she was saying that she could light the fireplace now with the lighter before I rudely interrupted her by looking for the stupid lighter in the trophy section. I doubt it's going to be any warm in this room, considering that, like the rest of the house, it looks like crap.
I've reached the monastery. As Roth predicted, it was hidden deep in the Himalayas. And now that I'm standing on these high stone walls, I am overwhelmed by the sheer beauty of the mountains that surround me. It is simply breathtaking. But what adds to their spiritual majesty is the truth of this place. The monks welcomed me, as is their way, but they seemed to expect me. They must have known someone like me would eventually come seeking answers. I know this is the place. They've conducted the ritual before. I have seen the evidence, the distinctive symbols carved into the floors, the art displayed on the inner chamber's walls. They've created the elixir before, and they will again if I can convince them. I sent Amelia a message straight away. I want her by my side for this discovery.
Dad was looking for an elixir. Was it the elixir of life?
All this talk about trying to have like the whole fountain of youth approach to life, I feel like it's not worth it in the end though, because if you have the ability to reproduce children, I mean, that's a way of extending part of your life into kids. Even, I mean, if you can't even have kids naturally, I mean, there's always ways these days of adoption where you can always extend a part of yourself into kids. That way, a part of your life doesn't have to feel like it's wasted, or even into animals as well, because...
This is my handiwork. I used to love drawing pictures of tigers.
Well,
Spent so many hours in here, reading, dreaming of my own adventures.
As I was saying, I mean, if you have someone to like show your way of life and like teach others somehow, I feel like your life could be extended somehow and live through others, even when your life does come to an end.
One of Winston's notes. He always hid sweets for me to find. I remember this now. Each district in ancient Egypt had a symbol and a number. I always preferred these symbols to the actual number hieroglyphs.
Now, Let me see. These two myths are referencing the same source material. But where did I see this image?
Dad, I think it's this one. In the chapter on Egyptian districts.
Why, yes, I think you're right, Lara.
I remember the page with the illustration of Ra.
My goodness, you've been paying attention, haven't you? This could be an important breakthrough.
Does this mean I'm your research assistant?
That and more, my darling girl.
Takes me back. Those were good times. The best times. This was always one of my favorite books in this library. I used to trace hieroglyphs. This picture was taken in the library. (1820) additions to the main hall in progress.
I guess it's time to go upstairs on top of the bookcases. Let's see, I'm gonna have to move this. I've always liked this type of ladder thing from watching old movies and like playing old games. Old games where like you have the ladder to go up on. I feel like that was a neat feature. Something you don't see anymore in modern days.
Took quite a tumble off of this old thing when I was a girl. Still feel it in the shoulder from time to time.
Ain't that the truth about almost any injury that happens to the body? After a while, it starts hurting when the weather's like gonna be crappy and stuff like that. Okay, come on, move.
Blank, except for the image of a key.
And I'm guessing the key is right by the
I
fireplace.
remember this map now. It leads to the master key, but we made it with a special kind of invisible ink. It could only be seen with the heat of a fire.
Yep. And the fire is lit. Well, at least I got that part right.
I can see the map. Looks like the key is hidden under a trunk near the bookcase.
And
X
we
marks
just-
the spot, as they say.
And I just passed that. It's this thing right here. Okay, come on. I like the little treasure chest.
The master key. This should get me into the West Wing.
I like the way it was designed with the letter C for Croft. Look, that's a nice touch. And yeah, again, it's another thing you don't see these days with...
Alright. This should open most rooms in the manor, including the Forbidden West Wing.
Yeah, as I was saying, it's something you don't see all the time anymore. It's just mostly like the older buildings and everything. But what can you do? A lot of stuff that was being built in times past is being abandoned because it was dangerous or the style's been always changing. Even today the style is different compared to what it was last year.
The Pharaoh's crown from my birthday treasure hunt. How old was I again? 6? 8? I think this hieroglyph corresponds to a number. But which one?
Okay.
Okay, Dad's clues mention Mum's paintings and their anniversary. Hopefully I can find some answers in the West Wing.
Wait. I feel like, yeah, there was this door. I think this is where the library entrance is.
Mistress Lara, I took the liberty of preparing a tray, as dinner did not go according to plans. I've included, in addition to your meal, a few treats. I would appreciate it if you kept this between us, but I felt tonight called for something special. If you will forgive me the indulgence, your rapid exit from the dinner table had me concerned, and I wanted to impart something that I hope sets your mind at ease. I have known your father for quite some time. There is an intensity to his passion that can be frightening, but I recognize that same passion in you. You're more like him than you know. Never doubt that he loves you more than his research, more than his artifacts, more than anything in this world. Storms pass, and tomorrow will be clear and blue again. When you have finished, please leave the tray outside. Be well. Yours, Winston.
Yep, this is the library. Okay, so once I'm done with this area, I'm just gonna go to her mother's section of the house. Okay, this door is open now as well. I'm guessing, like, this mansion is huge. I just wish they didn't close off the whole entire thing. I would love to explore the whole area in the condition it was in before the whole storm. But what can you do? That's the way the game was designed. Hopefully, if I would get the new Tomb Raider game, I wonder if they included anything with the manor so you can explore it or not. And if there is such a thing in the new one, then I might consider getting the game and seeing if it's an option or not. Let's see, I feel like there was some other things down here. Let's see, that were... Wait, I completely missed this from earlier.
Lara, since your return from your expedition to Yamatai, I've grown increasingly alarmed at your erratic behavior. I can only assume you suffered some kind of psychological trauma and are only acting out as a call for help. I want you to know that I hear you, loud and clear. Anna and I agree that it's time for you to be evaluated by a professional. I took the liberty of arranging an introduction to a highly qualified colleague of mine. You should be receiving the details in the post soon. I want to impress upon you the importance of this, Lara. As executor of the estate, it is my duty to see that it is left in capable hands. And if I may be blunt, you're acting like your father when he was at his worst. He nearly lost the manor himself in those days. I'd hate for you to repeat his mistakes. I encourage you to embrace the help I'm offering. Sincerely, your uncle.
Well, I feel like I get where he's going, where he doesn't want her to end up like him, like her father, as far as being obsessed with all this stuff, but he doesn't get it, though. Like, I feel like she's normal. Like, she could have ended up a lot worse considering the fact that her mother died when she was a kid. Her father still had his obsessive traits over the research, and, I mean, her mother was a big supporter of her father through his research, and he was just as much of a supporter to her with her art and stuff. I just feel like every family's gonna have bad apples, no matter where the heck you are in the world. Okay, let's see. I know there was something else, another chest, I think, that needed to be unlocked that I want to take care of before I continued into her mother's section of the house.
The Croft family crest.
Kind of reminds me of the shield that was given to Link in The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker when he had to go on board the pirate ship.
Worse than I thought.
Gosh, scared me there for a second. I felt something appeared. Yeah, I agree with her.
Strangely beautiful.
I agree with her. This side looks worse than the rest of the house. But then again, only sections of the house we were allowed to explore, considering that everything else is boarded up. As I said earlier, I wish the rest of the house was opened up and the mansion didn't look like this, or if the game gave an option of going through the house completely after restorations were done. That would have been nice. Alright, so I'm not gonna go down there yet. I want to explore this area first. Let's see. No. Okay. At least let's open up this table cabinet things. Okay, there we go. Gosh.
With Amelia gone, the manor is a different place. A dimness pervades, a quiet I can't stand. Even though Lara is too young to understand what has happened, she also senses the change. She's asked after her mother only once, and I'm afraid my reaction must have terrified her. I will need Winston more than ever these next few months to help look after her. I never quite realized how much grief can consume a man, but I am utterly consumed. I know I can't escape the pain, but I will try my damnedest to avoid it. I will seal the West Wing for as long as I live in this place. It will remain exactly as Amelia left it. Perhaps someday Lara can find her own answers there.
Well, that's basically what she's doing now. It's true that the house looks... Ugh. No, it definitely needs a complete makeover and a lot of money to do it.
I believe it took this trip to push me over the edge. I've been able to see Richard in his element, seeing him at his best and his worst. I've experienced the purity and chaos of his passion, and I came to realize I want his passion in my life, every day. So it's done. Richard wanted to wait another 4 days until my birthday, but I wouldn't have it. Once I make a decision, I prefer to get on with it. So we found a small chapel in Luxor that was just right. And with Roth and the others at our side, we married as the sun set over this remarkable land. Mother will never forgive me. Atlas will forever resent me. But I don't care anymore. I'm free of De Mornay obligations. Free to pursue my own passions and live my life surrounded by those who will encourage and challenge me. I'm excited for the future, whatever it may bring. Tomorrow, Richard and I return home to London as the Crofts, forging our path together.
She really did love him, and by the other notes Laura found, he really loved her as well. He truly cared. It's just about her family, her side of the family. They were a bunch of airheads. They refused to be open-minded, but what can you do? As I said earlier, even though a lot of times you can't choose the family members you have, or, I mean, nowadays you can make your own family, but still, in families you're going to always have a couple of bad apples. Doesn't matter where you're from, there's always going to be bad apples, whether we like it or not.
After everything
I
Atlas
think this was Dad's pocket watch.
done, how could you tell him about the expedition?
It's just all been too much. I needed to talk to someone. He's still my brother.
Looks like the father wasn't. Looks like Richard wasn't happy that she told her own brother about it. But I can understand why he didn't want him to know about it because of how he acted. Let's see. Let's find that little thingamabob that I was just looking at. Okay, there we go. Pocket.
I think this was Dad's pocket watch. Looks like it stopped precisely at midnight.
I don't trust him.
You don't have to, Richard, but please, trust me.
I'm sorry, my dear, but I know him. He'll take it to the papers. The investors will pull out.
Then go. Without me. Tonight. I will take care of Atlas. And then meet you in Tibet next week.
I was so young, but I still remember that terrible argument. It wasn't always an easy road for my parents. This is Dad. I suppose it's a family tradition, but I can't imagine having one of these made of me.
I wonder where she's keeping all this stuff. She's not really carrying big enough pockets for like the busts and all that stuff. Oh, what can you do? It's a game. Anything's possible.
My mother's perfume. The smell. So familiar. I can almost remember her.
Laura was so young when she lost her mom.
Mum, on her wedding day, she looks so beautiful. There's a date, October something. Damn, the number is faded. Their anniversary was in October. Which day? I can't believe I don't know this. There's got to be another clue somewhere. I remember this. Dad gave it to Mum on her birthday. October 13th, Mum's birthday.
I wonder if it was on a Friday or not.
Pretty sure my parents were married in October. I think it was close to her birthday.
Yeah, it was a couple of days before her birthday. Is her mom Mom's memory had said from one of the previous notes.
Amelia would not have approved. That alone should have been the end of it. But I am, as God made me, a stubborn fool. I locked all the West Wing's doors, and I shall not open them again until either my life or my obstinacy comes to an end. The night before, Roth told me I would someday change my mind. Like a broken arm cast in plaster, he said. The wound would heal, and we would someday shed the bandages to be whole again. The metaphor made me furious. The clumsy way he cast our loss off as nothing more than an inconvenience. There is wisdom in his rough words, but I've done what I must. Perhaps one day, Lara will throw back the doors to let the sun shine in again. Maybe she will find her own sense of peace in this place.
Except the sun ain't shining.
At least that old thing still works.
And the weather's in a crappy state right now in the game.
Mom's wedding ring. I always wondered what happened to it. The inscription is faded.
I am bursting with pride. Amelia is with child. It is amazing how everything in life can change with such a simple event. Obviously, we don't know the gender, but already we've discussed possible names. Perhaps Benjamin, after my grandfather, or maybe Griffin. He was more infamous a Croft than even me. No, Amelia wouldn't have it. Besides, she's certain it's a girl. She favors a classic such as Scarlet or Kate, though I've made some headway with Lara. A subtle nod to the sun god Ra, and our days in Egypt, where certainly this child was conceived. I find myself thinking about this new life we've created, of how much she might be like us. For all my research into myths of immortality, I may have ignored the most obvious answer to the questions that plague me. We live on through our progeny, our genes, DNA, experiences passed through the generations. Perhaps this is the simple truth of eternal life, and I've just been too stubborn to accept it.
Oh, that was a little bit too much information of...
Dad may have discovered the secret to immortality without even knowing it.
Oh, he went a little too far with explaining of where she was conceived in. Yeah, just too much information. Then again, I feel like it's not compared to the show Supernatural that I've been watching lately. Oh my gosh, that show pushes so much boundaries. It's like very dark, but it's hilarious. Very hilarious show.
Okay, Lara, keep it together. I'm starting to see things.
For anyone that missed that was a ghost. I believe of her mother right here in this corner. It happens quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if her mother or father are still connected to this place somehow. Considering if there's like some kind of object like their body that's keeping them here.
Mum's atelier. Dad sealed it soon after she died. He probably couldn't bear the idea of removing any of her belongings. Untouched for years, exactly as she left it.
And very, very dusty.
I stood up to my family's criticism, stood in defense of Richard and our love. But as my new life began in Croft Manor, doubt set in. How could love flourish in these cavernous halls and endless passageways? Had I made a terrible mistake? I have never been more delighted to be wrong. Richard welcomed me to the manor, my new home, with a game. It was a clue. written in jumbled words from 5 different languages, but it pointed the way forward. The next clue was a seemingly blank piece of parchment in the kitchen, where the heat of a candle revealed a message written in lemon juice. I followed each step, grinning like a child as I solved his riddles and chased the trail to its end. A white cloth stretched out on the lawn where a picnic was laid out. We laughed and ate, and my doubt vanished with the last of the morning mist. Love can and will endure.
This is a very beautiful painting.
I don't have any memory of this. I wish I could remember doing this. Mum died too young.
Yes, too bad she doesn't have that many great memories with her mother, because she was so young when her mom
Mum's
died.
paintings. Which one was Dad's favorite?
Let's see, we got 4 red boxes.
I returned home this afternoon to collect the last of my paintings. I suppose I should say I returned to my family's home. Atlas was there, in one of his foul moods, and even as he dripped venom for Richard with his cruel barbs, I could only laugh. To think that I once listened to my bitter brother in matters of my own happiness. My dismissal only served to infuriate him more. I left him there in Father's study, muttering to himself. On the drive back, as Winston took a longer route through the country, I looked through my paintings, Richard's favorite one among them, a simple abstract with blocks of red. I smiled, thinking about giving it to him. I was happy, and I was going home.
By the notes left in these diaries by her mother, she seems to be a very nice person, and I find these notes very amusing though as well.
Okay, back to the study to open that safe.
Well, I'm not done with this room just yet. I kind of want to look through it before I go back. Oh, I keep forgetting which buttons serve which purpose.
This was for a show in London of Mum's work. What I wouldn't give to see this today.
Oh, that painting we saw
It says
when we
here,
entered the room.
Amelia Croft plans to show her work in New York. I wonder what happened with that.
She probably would have been a big artist by now if she had survived.
Lara arrived tonight, though not without a bit of drama, but all is well. She's a healthy, beautiful baby. I've never seen Richard so happy. I'm sure he'll be celebrating with his favorite whiskey tonight. It's calm and peaceful now. Just the gentle sound of the rain and the small, sleeping breaths of this new life I hold in my arms. Lara Croft, my darling daughter. It's hard to put into words this feeling I have. We share a connection, something I never expected. A love so powerful and pure. Someday you'll feel it too. No matter where you go or where you find your place in this world, we will always have this connection.
Well, things so far the DLC never
You've
really
almost
talked.
got it, darling. Here, let me show you. Like this, see? Well done, Lara. Well done.
I wonder how my life would have been different had she lived.
Oh, let's see. As I was saying, I almost forgot what I was talking about. But as I was saying, the game hasn't really said much of how Winston died, the butler. I know he was in previous games, in like, I think he was in the movies before as well, but mostly the older games from back in the day. They've had him, but like they haven't really said how he died, but I think he might have died of old age, because in the games before he was portrayed as an old man. Let's see, I'm not forgetting anything in here, am I? Wait a second, yes I am.
Mum with me as a baby. I've never seen this. Hard to believe I was ever that small.
It's a very beautiful picture.
I'm glad I still have so much of Mum's work.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't destroyed either, considering that this huge tree came crashing through this section.
Dad, what do you keep in there?
Nothing too important, Lara. Estate business and such.
If it's not important, then why bother putting it in a safe?
I should know better than to try and pull one over on you. There is something important in here. And it's for you, should you need it someday.
Well, let's hope you came through for me, Dad.
Okay, let's see. So I need a code.
Okay, found all the clues. Let's see if I can figure this out. No, that's not it. No, that didn't work. The Pharaoh's crown from my birthday treasure hunt.
So it's these two birds.
I remember this now.
Two birds.
Each district in ancient Egypt
Five.
had a symbol and an... There has to be in the clues. No.
So
That's not it. No, that didn't work. The answer has to be in the clues. No, that's not it. No, that didn't work. The answer has to be in the clues.
okay, let's see.
I can see the map. Looks like the key is hidden
Let's see, there were 4 of those red blocks on the painting. Or was it 413?
No, that's not it.
What? Goofy.
No, that didn't work. The answer has to be in the clues. No.
Okay, so let's see. It was Secrets of the Past. Let's see, where was it?
For God's sake,
Lara's
memorize the
Expedition
combination.
Treasure.
Lara's Expedition
Favorite
Treasure.
painting by Amelia.
My favorite painting by
and their wedding anniversary. let's see.
I remember this now.
So the
Each
two birds
district
were what?
in
Let's
ancient
see, what was
Egypt
it
had a
again? Two
symbol
birds.
and a number.
Two
I
birds,
always
two
preferred
birds.
these
Five.
symbols.
So that was the crown. She had the 5, then
I remember this. Dad gave it to Mum on her birthday.
Topher, let's see.
Mum, on her wedding day, she looks so beautiful. That didn't work. The answer has to be in the clues. No, that's not it. No, that didn't work. The answer has to be in the clues. No, that's not it. No, that didn't work. The answer has to be in the clues.
So let's see. So let's see.
Mum's wedding ring. I always wondered what happened to it.
See, I can't see. So the mother's birthday was on the 13th.
I think this was Dad's pocket watch. I remember this. Dad gave it to Mum on her birthday. No, that's not it. No, that didn't work. The answer has to be in the clues. No, that's not it. No, that didn't work. The answer has to be in the clues. No, that's not it. No.
Okay, so let's see.
Everything is almost ready for me.
For God's sake, memorize the combination, you fool. Lara's expedition treasure. My favorite painting by Amelia. The day of our wedding anniversary.
That didn't work. The answer has to be in the clues. No, that's not it. No, that didn't work. The answer has to be in the clues.
Yeah, I'm getting tired of looking for the freaking clues. Let's see.
No, that's not it.
There we go.
It makes me happy to know that Dad kept it safe. No, that's not what I'm looking for.
I am numb. It is taking all my willpower to hold back the overwhelming grief. Amelia's plane crashed in the mountains. She died alone in the snow, waiting for me to find her. Oh God, not her, not now. I cannot accept it. Life without her is too painful to imagine. I know what must be done, and I am resolved. I'm going to bring her back. Perhaps this is why I am here. Perhaps this is fate, a test of my faith in the truth I've sought for so long. Roth will fight me on this, but I can't face Lara. I can't look into her eyes unless I try. I must try to bring Amelia back. The monks are preparing the elixir now, and then we will see if all my years of hunting this truth was for naught.
Dad, what did you do? Dad's sequel to his first book on immortality. He never got a chance to publish it. Damn, this isn't it either. I was certain that...
Why do I keep doing this? Let's see. Okay, where is his stuff again? No, let's see. It was... Or was it the manuscript thing?
Dad's sequel to his first book on immortality. He never got a chance to publish it. Handwritten. This is the only copy.
Okay, there we go.
To be a will in here. Wait, what's that? A blank page. Dad must have left this for me. It has to be important.
Well, I'm gonna stop the game there, and I'll just resume another time. And yes, the game just saved, so I'll end it there. And thanks everyone for watching. See you guys next time.